Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. In today's video, the last one of this month where I tried to build some preemptive hype for my work in progress, Heir to the Empire, the Path Not Taken, I thought I would discuss a bit about one of my MCs and the first of my characters to ascend to MC status, Marius Alighieri. To those of you who think this name sounds familiar, it's because I've mentioned it before in one of my first videos. One that is definitely on the list of videos that will get remade as soon as I decide to renew my camera. And the one where I talk about the non-teaching personality university from my debut. He was a side character in he is a side character in my debut. And in this book, and in my work in progress, he has ascended to becoming a main character, or rather, the alternate version of him from the world where the story takes place is the main character. However, their appearances and their backstories are quite similar, for among the two versions. I'll let you know as soon as they diverge. At the beginning of the novel, Marius is 32 years old, 1 meter 82, or about 6 feet tall. He has blonde medium-length hair and green eyes. He leads what one could call, with some degree of accuracy, a triple life. To most of the general public, he is known as Mario Sporetti, the in-universe equivalent of a micro-celebrity who is very well known for his partying and gambling habits and organizations. To his employer, he is known as Marius Alighieri, one of, if not the leading field operatives within the domestic surveillance division of the Empire's Secret Service, charged with monitoring and sabotaging every internal threat to the safety and stability of the Empire. As such, he also has access to a lot of very sensitive, very confidential documents regarding how well the Empire functions. To every other figure of note, he is the main liaison and informant within the Secret Service, within the Empire Secret Service, for the Resistance. How did he get to that point? Well, his parentage is unknown, given he was abandoned as a baby and presumed an orphan. He didn't get to spend too much time in the Empire's foster care system, however, given that he was selected for a program run by the Imperial War Council's Special Operations Division, a program which aimed to mold and develop very young children into highly competent military personnel. As such, Marius spent most of his childhood preparing for every kind of military operation you could think of. As soon as he could walk, he had a military schedule imposed on him, where he would learn how to fight, how to hide, how to conjure, and how to defend. He also received something akin to a formal education, learning the most prominent or the most circulated languages within the Empire, as well as history, geography, logistics, command, and the hard sciences insofar as they were considered relevant. Marius himself excelled through his combat ability and discipline, as well as his situational assessments, his problem-solving skills, as well as his general knowledge. Within the main timeline, this program was dissolved after the end of the Republic's War, prompting Marius and the rest of his band of child soldiers to become runaways. However, in this alternate timeline, the program continued throughout the interregnal war, and Marius and his band were called up around halfway through its run, once the Emperor considered them considered them ready. Marius himself saw action in urban, forested, marshy, flat, and mountainous terrain, and often finding himself in the thick of very complex military operations. He was able to handle most of the problems brought his way somewhat effectively. However, as the war went on, he became increasingly dismayed with the blunders that his superiors were responsible for. The indoctrination that was given to him as a child, namely that the people of higher ranks always knew better and always were to be followed because they are the aspirational goal of any person. Well, that perception became increasingly shattered and increasingly disproven as he himself gathered more first-hand experience in war, and not just him, but also a lot of the rest of the child soldiers from his program realized the same thing. By the end of the war, they agreed that no matter what would happen to them after the war would be over, they would all either join or start an anti-imperial resistance. When the war did in fact come to a close, some of this band of child soldiers who had then become more or less child commanders or child officers were given the opportunity to retire from military service and just do whatever they wanted with their lives. Some of those who received the offer did also take it, but Marius and the rest and some others who were given the offer refused to do so, and instead opted to stay within the armed forces. For their choice, their superiors allowed them to choose within which branch of the armed forces they would want to continue their service. And Marius decided that he would choose to continue his service in the one division that would really allow him to gain the informational advantage necessary to counter an enemy with the reach of an empire, the domestic surveillance division of the Empire's Secret Service. And as one of its leading field operatives, he has proven himself to be invaluable in gathering and disseminating classified information to the resistance, as well as in the assessment and creation of their various operational plans. How well he fares over the course of my work in progress is something I will leave up to you to discover. Until then, until the book comes out and you'll be able to discover that, I would like to say thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and maybe even share the video wherever you think other people will like it as well. If there is anything you'd like to add to any part of what I said, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My already published book, my debut, Heir to the Empire: The Next Generation, is available at most major book retailers under a master link in the description down below. Right past all of my social media links, which I will suggest you check out should you choose to do so. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.